gonna go into your
No,
nose,
sorry. Yes,
but it's gonna run along the palate, okay?
All right.
No, don't tilt your head, just like that. Just sit right there, and I'm sorry if it feels really, really weird.
We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need right here. Make me sing along. Sing along.
Hi guys, welcome back to Everything We Need. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification so you can get notified when we upload a new video.
So as you guys could tell by the title, I got the coronavirus, and gracias a Dios and my wife for taking care of me, and I got through it without any major complications. But we just wanted to make a video today, kind of talk about symptoms and what went on through our 2-week ordeal, how it happened. So for our anniversary, you guys didn't see when we went out dancing, but I think this is where I got it. This is what we did that day. Alright, so first of all, how it began. It was probably a Tuesday, and it started with just lower back pain. I was actually underway on the cutter, and I thought it was either from me sleeping wrong on the boat's mattress or something else, or I was just tired from being out in the sun the day before. But it started with my back hurting, and then it went later on that day into more of my body hurting. And it's weird because it was mostly my calves that were feeling like they were tired or they hurt or something. And then I went down after my watch. I went to go to sleep for a little bit, and I was just feeling chills and sweating a lot, and that's what I was feeling that day. That was a Tuesday. The next day I felt like it was just a regular cold, body aches, chills. I wasn't awake, so I couldn't check my fever. And Thursday, when you guys got down there, I felt pretty good, no? I mean, I was taking XL3 because I thought it was just a common cold. So they went down there, and you guys watched the video. I mean, we went out to the beach, and that's a scary part, and maybe the bad part on mine is that I didn't stay at home. I didn't stay quarantined, but it's because you think it's just a regular being sick, and then all of a sudden it's not. I know before you guys say stuff also, you shouldn't have gone out to dance and all that, but you gotta understand too that here, how many cases were there?
Yeah, so it's crazy to me because I was so happy, and I know I've told you guys on my lives that I'm so thankful that we're going over there already, because when we were in Michigan, that was one of the states with the highest people with the COVID. And when we were looking at the numbers here, it was only, I think, not even 200 when we were looking at the numbers. When we got here, it was around the 200 cases. And that's when he got infected with 200 cases. And that weekend, actually, that's when the numbers started going up and up and up. And now it's crazy amount of people here infected. And I've told you guys also on the lives that everything here seemed like it was normal, back to normal. And in Michigan, we were at home the whole time. And here, just the vibe was different. So I guess we thought we were on the safe zone. But
Yeah, because everything was starting to open up, right? Restaurants were at 75% capacity that you could go into. No masks were required. Obviously, bars and clubs started opening up. So it was our anniversary. We decided, hey, we're just gonna go. And it was an hour that we were there?
not even, yeah.
Okay,
so we get there, and he's not drinking.
No.
Because, and you guys saw from the anniversary vlog, we celebrated actually early because he had to get underway, right? So this was on a Friday night. So I wasn't really drinking that much either. And when I got there, we ordered a drink, and the drinks were not good. So I took maybe 3 drinks out of my first drink. And then we tried dancing one song,
Yeah, one. And then they switched it up on us.
We danced one song, we went to sit down, and it's not like it was that crowded the second time where we went. At the bar, there was people like kind of going in to get drinks and stuff. The second drink, tampoco I didn't even finish it. And it was small drinks, guys, like this much. So I don't even think we were there the hour. And I told him, let's just get out. But that's where he thinks he got infected.
Yeah, because we found out later that one of the bartenders was infected. That's what I think.
But, well, I don't know. See, and that's the crazy thing too. Like, wouldn't I have gotten it? I was the one drinking the drinks.
Yeah.
From the bartender. Like, she squeezed lemon into my drink.
Yeah. And so anyway, so that Thursday they go over there and like, you know, I kissed Babe after that. Jarek was sharing food with me. Like, we were all together. Like, it's crazy. And we had a good day, you know, you guys saw the videos. And so they left the following morning and we had to get underway to come back up to Corpus. And that morning, you even asked me what's wrong. Yeah. And I was just feeling like crap. I was just beat, tired. And didn't think much of it. Went back to work to get underway to come up to Corpus. They took off, drove back up here. And so we get underway and we're up on the bridge and it's pretty rough out. Like, we're taking some pretty good waves and somebody spills coffee. And whatever, they pick it up and we're continuing on our way. All of a sudden somebody says, well, at least it smells good here. It smells like coffee. And right away I was like, oh shit. I looked at my officer in charge. I'm like, I can't smell anything. I think I have it. And he sends me down below to my stateroom. I stay there, whatever it was, like 6-hour transit back up from South Padre to Corpus. I stay in the stateroom and start calling people to get tests done and you know, let our bosses know and all that. I text Jess. I'm like, so I'm quarantining in my room and they're sending me home right after we get here. And
to me, my hopes were still like, no, it's not gonna be it, because I don't like to get ahead of myself and be negative. And that weekend, actually, we were planning to drive to El Paso to pick up my dad. So I called them up. I told him what was going on because he's high risk. But again, all of our hopes were up high that it wasn't gonna be it. And he still managed to get over here. This was during that weekend, okay? So we're at what day?
From infection?
We're yeah.
From infection, we're at 8 days. We're on a Friday afternoon.
Because again, the symptoms don't show up. Well, they show up 2 to 10 days after.
I think they say like 3 to 14 or 2 to 13 or 2 to 14, something like that. Yeah. I'm already showing symptoms. You're okay. Kids are okay.
When did you get here? That Friday?
I got here that Friday.
That Friday. That's when you started making the phone calls, and you weren't going to be able to get tested until Saturday if he got that phone call on Friday night, or if not until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And by that time, my dad was already here. And yeah.
Even that night though, right? You slept with me here?
Yeah, I was still sleeping here and everything.
That Friday?
So when my dad was here, my brother, he was wearing the mask the whole time. And my dad also, he never took his mask off for nothing. But I was still having contact with him and I wasn't wearing a mask around my dad but I didn't get very close to my dad. I couldn't even hug him. We didn't even hug or anything.
Yeah.
So that's the only precaution we took
to
that point.
I kind of stayed away from him too. Stayed in the room for the most part.
Yeah, of course he went out there when they got here and then stayed out there talking maybe 10-15 minutes.
Outside though.
Outside, yeah, outdoors.
And I stayed far away from them.
And then he just came back in the room. Sunday.
Father's Day.
Father's Day, he went out to the living room, but they were sitting separate. But again, we were still having contact with him, even though he was wearing the mask. But then you went back to your room. You were already kind of staying away.
Yeah, because that day I was feeling sick. Like I was falling asleep just being in the bed. Like I couldn't stay awake. Father's Day meal was Jack in the Box. That's what I had requested.
Yeah.
So I went out to eat that only, and came right back. And again, just laying here and watching TV. I was just tired, very tired, fatigued, and just I would fall asleep and not even notice.
And so Monday he finally gets his test done.
Yep. And this is how it went.
Are you good with it? Okay.
So my mouth, you said?
No, it's going to go into your
No,
nose.
sorry.
But
Yes,
it's going to run along the palate, okay?
All right.
No, don't tilt your head, just like that. Just sit right there. And I'm sorry if it feels really, really weird. Does it feel really strange?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm going to twirl it around, all right? Does it feel like it's at the very back of your head?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm just going to twirl it as I go.
Thank you.
Okay, hang in there. As soon as we know your report, we'll tell you.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, that sucked. Like, fortunately, I've heard people talk about them sticking it up both nostrils. I only got it done on one, as you hopefully could tell in the video. But even then, it was so uncomfortable. Like, they stick it all the way back there, and then they twist. And as it was coming out, they were twisting until finally it was out. But, oh, I found out that day, right? They called me. I got it done in the morning, and by probably 4 in the afternoon, I heard the results that I had tested positive for COVID-19.
At this point, we don't know what to do. My dad's already here. The plan was for him to stay for a while. Didn't want him to feel like, oh, they don't want me here. But we did want to give him that option, that for him not to feel like he had to stay with us. So I told him he tested positive. And also he was kind of surprised, got a little bit scared because, like I mentioned to you guys, he's high risk. And just other stuff that was going on, which I'm not going to go into detail. But then I was like, okay, so to me at first I thought if somebody in the house gets it, everybody's going to get it. That was my way of thinking. And so I called to try to get tested, but I told them I'm really not showing any symptoms. The only probable symptom that I had was headache, but that's it. I had no other symptoms. So they said, well, that's considered a symptom, so you do have to get tested. But I never got the phone call back, never. So I never got tested. And I know after he got tested, well, actually that weekend, that's when the numbers started going up.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, that since mine was just a headache, they decided not to call me to get tested. I don't know. But we did check our temperatures. From that point on, I did continue to wear my mask while making food for the kids, for my dad. But, I mean, I was still checking everyone. The kids, my dad, myself.
Me.
But that was one of the symptoms he did not have. He didn't have any fever.
As far as we know, it could have happened while I was underway, but I don't think so. When I get that phone call, man, like, I inside of myself, even though I was trying to be positive, I kind of knew once I lost that smell, because I had never felt that way. Like I said, my calves were hurting, very, very sick, very, very fatigued. The no smell, and it wasn't a no smell because I was congested. I could really breathe. So when I get that phone call, even though I knew inside that I already had it, it scared the shit out of me, Like, I didn't want to show it. I wanted to remain positive. But those moments where you hear the news, you see the news, like, I was scared. And I kept on telling myself, like, all right, you don't have high blood pressure, you don't have diabetes, you don't have asthma. you know, all the high risk things, you don't have it, but at the same time, you just never know. You never know how Corona is gonna affect you. The one symptom I didn't get, gracias a Dios, is like my breathing. I never struggled to breathe. And if I did, I think it was just because of allergies, you know. And I was still taking the XL3, the allergy pills, and all that, and it was scary. It was scary to receive that positive diagnosis, and you know, scared for the family, scared for the kids, knowing that I had given Jarek food from my plate, I had kissed Babe, knowing that it takes 14 days so that you could maybe get symptoms, you know, like, okay, what if it just hasn't affected them yet? What if it's gonna hit in a couple more days? So we're at Monday, you know, we're at day 1, 2, 3, 4. We're at day 11 of possibly getting infected, you know, like there's still time for them to start getting symptoms.
As for me, I kind of just remained positive. Yes, it was a little scary, especially because I could see my dad. He was really scared. Like, he was scared. And then, I mean, obviously I was scared for my kids. But I think I remained pretty positive, knowing that we were going to get out of it. My faith was, we're going to get out of it, it's going to end. And just took it day by day, because as it was for me having to get up, cook separate meals for the kids because they ate alone, and then either his turn to eat and he would eat alone, either sometimes in here or over there. Mind you, I had to disinfect every time after everyone ate, and then after him, sometimes if he would go out there, I would be able to sit in our dining table. My dad was in the living room and he was towards the exit of our room in that little office table. So there were some times that I was able to eat while he was eating, and then mande.
Muy bien.
Sí, estamos grabando. Sorry, guys. I'm telling you, he gets paranoid. I bet you he saw he went for this.
And then we have the door closed.
Yeah. So, where was I?
Eating together.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then after my dad, and then it felt like after I finished disinfecting everything, washing dishes, it felt like it was already lunchtime, and
all over again.
All over again after lunch, and then for dinner. Also, I didn't know if I was the only one that was able to go out. I didn't know if I was able to go to the store or not. So we did do, for the first time, the Walmart pickup stuff. But then I did have to go one of the times to the pharmacy to get sueros for him and my dad, because like I said, we were going through something else as well, not just the COVID. And so yeah, it was very hard the first few days, but like I said, I took it one day at a time, and otherwise I know I was gonna overwhelm myself and not make it through. And I know, I mean, the kids needed me, my dad needed me, and he needed me, so that's how I took it.
And then so we make the call also. So the way we found out was because I tested through the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard called me and told me you're positive, right? And then so I asked them all these questions, but they didn't really know, because that wasn't their specialty, you know. They're meant to do something else. But they said that I would receive a call from the Nueces County, which is this county health department. So we get the call later on from them, right? And we're like, so we have all these questions, you know, my father-in-law, he's high risk, but we've been separate. Should all the family head back to El Paso and leave me here just to kind of, you know, last those 14 days? Should my father-in-law just leave, or what should happen, right? And at the end of the day, they were like, well, you know what? Even though it was only a little bit of time, he still may have it now. So you all need to quarantine yourselves for 14 days from that day. So
yeah, and that CDC people, they actually told him that more than likely I had it for sure. I was just asymptomatic.
yeah.
So that's why also I wanted to not go out anywhere to get stuff from the store and stuff. So I did. We pretty much stayed here the 14 days.
Yeah.
And like I said, just going to get the groceries from online pickup. That's pretty much it.
Now we're on Tuesday, day after we found out, right? Tuesday through, I would say probably Sunday. I'm still kind of feeling sick. And
So what I think fixed him was my caldo de
oh,
pollo.
heck yes. You're
We have the little temperature checker here. Guys, if I sound weird, it's because I have my mask. I've been wearing my mask to cook. And my tortillas are getting burnt. So he's been eating separately. Making some caldo. So first I have my daddy, well the kids, my dad, and then Alfonso. Muy malito pero con su coquita. How's that cargo?
it's delicious, babe.
After that day,
Oh,
I think his animals started going. When did you start smelling?
probably that Thursday when you cooked something.
Yeah, he had been craving
Picadillo.
picadillo.
Oh, see that? El picadillo was the first thing I smelled.
Yeah, he was able to get his smell back after how many days?
So like that Thursday, right? So almost 6 days after is when you make the picadillo. And is when I finally, and you know what? Like one of the guys at work got sick too. And it's been a month almost, and he's barely getting his smell back and taste. So
Yeah, that was also one of my concerns, that I was scared for the people he worked with, because some of these guys don't have family members or are not married, or I'm like, dang, how are they taking care of themselves? Because I do think that homemade food is gonna help you, like caldos and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And sopas, because when I was making the sopa, I was moliendo like a lot of ajo and onion. I didn't tell anyone so that the kids wouldn't hear it, nobody would hear it, and they would just eat it. So I did blend a whole bunch of ajo, a whole bunch of onion into the caldos and into the sopas. And I do think that helped a little.
Oh yeah, the carrots, the calabazas,
For people that have to quarantine with no family members, I feel for them, because I think homemade food is very essential during the COVID or during quarantine time for somebody who's infected.
By this time, from that Thursday through the Sunday, or Tuesday through that Sunday, I think even a little bit earlier. No, I think Fridays when I started feeling better, because that's so Tuesday through Friday is like the days where she's making me the caldos, picadillo. I mean, just amazing meals, guys. Like, gracias a Dios que I have her. And that Fridays when I'm starting to feel better. Like, I think all the symptoms had left, besides a little bit of cough that I had at the end. But again, I don't know if that's allergies. So CDC's guidelines were that from initial symptoms, 10 days, right? And then after those days, you have to be 3 days without fever, 72 hours without fever, or any other symptoms. And if the only symptoms that you could have are the respiratory, and they have to be getting better. So as I said, I didn't have any bad breathing. I had a little bit of cough, and even that was starting to go away. And I started feeling better. So that next Monday, was when technically I could be out of the CDC guidelines for quarantine. All right, guys. So it's been 10 days since the onset of my symptoms, and 3 days since I felt any of the symptoms anymore. So according to CDC's guidelines, I'm medically recovered. So it says I can now be with other people too. So I'm gonna see what Jess says.
Doing our round of checkups. Okay, Jaylene is good. She's at 98.6. I don't know why this is not focusing. Sí. 98.3. 98.2. Grandpa's good to go. Canelo's always in the 90s. Oh, now he's 93. Careful with the drink.
Yeah.
98.4.
Now I check yours.
through work, they took us out for 2 weeks, right? 14 days, no working. And yeah, we still, after those 10 days, you know, we just go real quick to Walmart and come back home. We quarantined ourselves until those 14 days were over. Gracias a Dios, and again to my wife that I made it out through without major complications. Gracias a Dios that the kids didn't, you know, through all these days I was counting like, okay, just one more day, Diosito, gracias por este día, que none of the other family members have any symptoms or aren't getting sick. A couple worries, right? During that time, like Jarek, oh, my head hurts, but
both each, okay, and then one of the days Jalene's stomach was hurting, and then so each time I checked both of their temperatures and it was going up. It was at, one will actually hit the 99.1 and the other one was
también also about the 99.3 or something like that. Pretty.
Yeah, they were both at 99. I'm like, oh my god, that's when I did get worried because
Jarek.
I mean, obviously they're kids, and then Jarek, Jalene has been pretty healthy. She's been a healthy baby.
Gracias a Dios.
And throughout the years, yeah, gracias a Dios. But Jarek, he used to get sick on me a lot. He actually would get a lot of ear infections. He had a lot of breathing problems, and just a lot of complications until he got surgery. And thank God after that, he's been pretty much okay until he started getting sick with the influenza, and then we started doing the shots, and ever since he's been very healthy in lo que cabe. So he was one of the ones that I was also very concerned because of the breathing problems. And yeah, kind of when I saw the temperature, my heart dropped a little, but I kept checking every hour, and nope, it was just, I guess, I don't know what put him up to 99, but it never went higher than that.
Yes.
And his head was hurting a few days, but I think he was just dehydrated. And Jaylene, it was just tummy, but it was constipation, so nothing bad. And yeah, thankfully.
You know, I mean, during this time, mi hijo Gael was supposed to come visit, and we had to cancel that trip.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like, okay, so we were gonna have a full house. Like my dad was coming, Gael was coming, and well, my dad still made it here before he got the results. But for Gael, we did have to move back the date. I wish we would have vlogged La Llegada de Gael because it was crazy too. It was another scare. They had to land in Austin. We traveled to Houston. He landed in Austin.
Oh.
And también we're like, oh my God. Alfonso's face was just like when he got the call from Gael. But he remained kind of calm. And then obviously they had to, or not, that day it was raining, so they had to stop there, fuel up, and obviously they made it back to Houston. So he's here now. But that was another crazy adventure at the airport. And we were also scared. So the kids did stay here with my dad. It was just me and Alfonso that went in there. And also crazy times at the airport. Crazy travel times.
Prayers to everyone that's been affected in whatever way. It's not a joke. I know, like, we've talked about it. Like, okay, well, what are we going to do when we get down there, when we were in Michigan? No, well, we're going to quarantine. We're going to stay in. We're not going to do anything. And then you get down here and it's all, like, seems kind of normal. And you're like, well, okay, maybe I'll let my guard down a little. Oh, it's our anniversary. Well, let's go out to eat. Let's go dance a little bit. Not thinking anything of it, you know. And then, like Jessica said, you know, it went from 200 cases to, I mean, we're at probably 8,000 already by this time, you know. So many deaths here now, and we just, right now we're like, are we going to let them go to school? Are we going to do online? Like, it sucks. Gracias a Dios, we've made it through this far. If you're watching, ojalá y estén todos bien también, that you haven't been affected that bad from it. And if you have, I hope a full recovery, a quick recovery. And just take care of yourselves, because you never know how it's going to affect you. Gracias a Dios, it didn't affect me as bad, but you never know.
It's also something scary because they told him that, yeah, more than likely I have it, but I am asymptomatic. So if he wouldn't have shown symptoms, like, we would have been out and about spreading this, and that's scary.
Yeah.
That was real scary, like when they told me that. And then we would ask questions when they would call, and they were also like,
Yeah,
people don't know what the hell to do, how to handle the situation. What was one of the questions that we asked the CDC people? Okay,
that okay, so my quarantine, that if at day 9 she starts showing symptoms, do I have to go into another 14-day quarantine, or am I okay? And they're like, I don't know. Good question.
yeah, they don't have answers for everything too, which is
Scary.
yeah.
I mean, can I get it again? You know, like.
Yeah, because we had another scare.
Oh yeah, right.
Because he did obviously go back to work already, and
For a week, I went back to work, but it seems like one of the persons I might have infected, most likely, he didn't start showing symptoms until day 13, and he thought it was just a heat exhaustion. So he goes to work Monday, and Tuesday we get underway again, and almost the same thing. You know, they're cooking, and somebody says, "Oh, it smells like barbecue in here," and he's like, "I can't smell barbecue." So he comes up to the bridge and he starts telling me the story of what he's feeling. And I'm like, dude, that's exactly what I was feeling. Like, you should not be here right now. Go to your room. You know, and we go back, we send him home, and sure as shit, 3 days later, yep, confirmed COVID. Great. Well, I've been around him, even though we took our precautions, you know, wearing masks this time, underway, keeping our distance as much as we can. We're in an 87-foot boat, and probably 40 foot of this is places where we could actually be in. So we're in close quarters, you know, and now I'm like, well, can I get it again? And then we come home.
he has allergies. So I mean, well, we didn't know if it was allergies or if it was COVID again.
Because I'm struggling to breathe, all right? My body starts hurting again, and I was doing work, right? We were doing some type of work. I don't know.
Cut the grass.
I cut the grass, so I was feeling dehydrated, I guess, maybe. I don't know if it was. And then I go take aquí de tres, and I didn't remember that's drowsiness. That like it causes me drowsiness. So I'm sitting there. What were we doing in the table? We were doing something at the table.
Oh, I was enrolling the kids in school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were enrolling the kids at school. And I'm starting to go again. I see all drowsy, and I'm like, oh, shoot, here we go again. This time I took a nap, and again, we're like, well, do I go get tested? I didn't want to go get tested. I'm like, we can't just go get tested every time I feel whatever symptom, or do we go get tested every time we feel a symptom? It's just, I know. Fortunately, no, I woke up from that nap, felt pretty good. I took my medication for allergies, and I haven't felt anything. So take care, people. Take this seriously. Wear the masks. It's not worth it. It really isn't worth it.
All right, you guys. Well, that was our little update. I know a few family members knew about it, a few close friends. Thank you for your prayers. Yes, thanks to everyone who reached out and was checking on us. We made it through, thankfully. Gracias a Dios and everyone's prayers. And yeah, I guess, yeah, it's not worth it. Like, we're not sure if that's where it happened. He thinks that's where it happened. I don't know. So yeah, just think about it, I guess, because not everyone's so lucky. And he was scared for me because of my hypertension. Just anything that could trigger you to go to the hospital. I don't know. It's just scary. But yeah, I guess take care as much as you can.
Stay safe.
And thanks for watching this video. Hope this helped anyone who has a little bit of questions, or I don't know.
Eat your caldo. Make sure your wife makes you your caldo de pollo con calabacitas y carrots y limón. Homemade salsita. That salsita you made was bomb. Can you make that again?
What, the whole caldo?
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you guys on our next video. We won't tell you when because we're all over the place. But yeah.
Peace.
Inside of our embassy.